Dear friends, Aloha Pa, it's Father's Day today, so we are remembering my late father, Fereidún Soleimani. I wrote this short biography of him some time ago, and then my mother is gonna say a prayer for him. He was born in Mashhad, Iran in 1930. He came from a humble family. My grandfather was a Baha'i scholar and writer, but as you know, that kind of work never pays well. So he lived a modest life with his wife and his children. My father, Fereidún, went to the University of Tabriz and majored in English literature. During that time, students were required to write a dissertation, so he translated 3 works of Shakespeare from English to Persian. After graduating from college, he started working at Saderat Bank. He worked there for many years, and he ended up being manager of the Foreign Affairs Department. He had a successful career in the bank, and he retired with a very generous amount of money. He had 2 children, my older sister and brother. Later in life, in the 1970s, he asked where he could go to serve his faith, the Baha'i faith. The Assembly of the Baha'is of Iran told him that pioneers were needed in Ecuador and Denmark. He chose Ecuador, a small country in South America smaller than most US states. As a 50-year-old and with my mother, he learned Spanish. He also sent my 2 siblings to high school where they learned Spanish. Because of his accent, some folks in Ecuador called him El Señor Alemán, the German gentleman. But he didn't look German at all. Like me, he was a Middle Eastern man. During those years, he deepened his knowledge of the holy books, the Bible, the Quran, and the Kitab al-Aqdas, the holy book of the Baha'is. He had lost his money with a dishonest business partner, so he did several types of work. He opened a bakery where he worked for many years with the help of my mother and my older brother. He himself became a religious scholar. Muslim friends asked him to clarify verses from the Quran, and Jewish and Christian friends asked him to clarify verses from the Bible. He was invited to several Baha'i conferences to talk about the faith, about the Baha'i laws and concepts, which he had memorized by reading scripture repeatedly. He was an avid reader. He devoured voluminous books of Persian literature in just one night. He traveled to Peru and Colombia to speak at conferences, all this in the most precarious economic conditions. He had other jobs, including being a street vendor and producing alfalfa sprouts. My mother also worked, but life was hard. God bless those years. In 1999, he had a terrible accident with the car. He almost died, his brain was injured, and his behavior changed. But he was the same kind person. He kept working, but the damage was noticeable. In 2001, we emigrated to the United States, a process that took lots of paperwork since the early 1990s. My older siblings had established a life here, and we wanted to be together. We lived a relatively peaceful life until 2014. And Baba, my father as I called him, had a stroke that paralyzed half his body. He suffered for 2 years. This incredible man, this scholar, in late 2015, his doctor recommended that he go to hospice care. He was unconscious, couldn't talk, couldn't hear anything due to a stomach hemorrhage that couldn't be stopped in the ICU. I was with him all the time, but I was never able to say goodbye to him. He passed away on October 30th, 2015, in the company of his wife and his children. He went to heaven from Kirkland, Washington. He was an incredible man. This is one of the last times I was able to hold his hand and talk to him. I love you, Dad. So this is one of the very last times I held his hand. I don't know if you can see it. That's me with him. And now my mother is going to say a prayer for him. بفرمایید مناجات برای بابا، همون مناجاتی که خودش دوست داشت، مال حضرت عبدالبها.
الهی تو بینا و آگاهی که ملجایی و پناهی جز تو نجسته و نجویم و به غیر از سبیل محبتت راهی نپیموده و نپویم. در شبان تیره ناامیدی دیدم به صبح امید الطاف بی‌نهایتت روشن و باز و در سحرگاهی این جان و دل پژمرده به یاد جمال و کمال خرم و دمساز. هر قطره‌ای که به عواطف رحمانیتت موفق بحریست بیکران و هر ذره‌ای که به پرتو انوار عنایتت مؤید آفتابیست درخشنده و تابان. پس ای پاک یزدان من، این بنده پرشور و شیدا را در پناه خود پناهی ده و بر دوستی خویش در عالم هستی ثابت و مستقیم بدار و این مرغ بی پر و بال را در آشیان رحمانی خود و بر شاخسار روحانی خویش مسکن و موای عطا فرما. تویی دهنده و بخشنده و مهربان. عبدالبها عباس.
مرسی عزیزم. خدا حافظ دوستان عزیز.